They told me I would never walk again. I told them, "How much you wanna bet?" People think that was bravado. It wasn't. It was denial, rage, stupidity, hope, all poured into one sentence I couldn't swallow. My name is Kyle Brennan. I used to be a Division I wrestler with Olympic dreams, the kind of guy who treated pain like background noise. On March 14, 2019, in an arena in Iowa, I went from elite athlete to medical impossibility in under 5 seconds. Rise Untold asked me to tell this the way it happened, not the way people like to romanticize it. So here's the truth. The injury. I remember the move perfectly. Final match of the NCAA Regional Championship. I was up on points. My opponent was desperate. He went for a high-risk throw he had no business trying. I went airborne, mid-rotation, and my brain had exactly enough time to think, this is gonna be sick on the replay. Then I landed on my neck. Do you know what silence sounds like in a packed arena? It's worse than the noise. 1 second people are screaming. The next second it's like someone pressed mute on the world. I tried to move. Nothing. I couldn't feel my legs. Couldn't feel my stomach. Chest down, gone. They rushed me to the hospital. Nurses, lights, machines. The whole time I was thinking, this is temporary. This is just shock. I'll be fine by tomorrow. I have nationals in 2 weeks. A doctor I barely knew told me the words that split my life into before and after. Complete spinal cord injury at C5, C6. No motor function below the chest. I'm sorry, Ka. You will never walk again. He said it gently, professionally, like he was giving me directions to a funeral. I stared at him and asked the dumbest, truest thing I could think of. How much do you want to bet? He blinked. I think he thought it was the morphine talking. It wasn't. The reality. People love to say, he refused to accept reality. That's not true. Reality hit me hard. I felt it every morning I woke up and couldn't scratch my own nose without help. My body was a prison I'd been sentenced to without a trial. But wrestlers are wired weird. We see every "you can't" as an invitation to try. I started reading. Not about inspirational quotes, about science. Spinal cord injuries. Neuroplasticity. Epidural stimulators. Stem cell therapies in Thailand. Nerve regeneration attempts in Germany and Mexico. Most of it was grim. But here and there were these outliers. People classified as complete who had regained tiny bits of function. Not miracles. Just data points that didn't fit the neat curve. Insurance wouldn't touch any of the experimental stuff. My savings were 14 grand. The treatments were hundreds of thousands. So I did something insane. I turned my rehab into a public bet. The challenge. I wrote an open letter online to the same hospital team that diagnosed me. I'll walk 10 steps in 18 months, I wrote. If I do, you donate $100,000 to spinal cord research. If I don't, I'll donate my entire life savings, $14,000, to your hospital. And I'll do it on live video. You said, never. I'm saying we'll see. Do you believe what you told me enough to bet on it? The internet found it before they did. The letter went viral. I watched the view count climb from hundreds to thousands to millions from my hospital bed. Doctors and ethicists called it dangerous, false hope, emotional manipulation. But 3 doctors from my hospital signed it. They said they weren't trying to humiliate me, that this was about accepting medical reality. We had a date, February 14, 2021. 18 months. 10 steps. No walker. No cane. Just me and my broken nervous system. I had 547 days. We set up a GoFundMe for the treatments. I felt weird about it. I hated asking strangers for money. But the donations started pouring in. $5, $10, $50, $1,000. Someone dropped 50 grand anonymously. In 6 days, we had the $380,000 we needed. I used to think my worth came from what my body could do on a mat. Now my broken body was raising hundreds of thousands from people who'd never seen me wrestle a single match. They just wanted to see a paralyzed man try to walk. The journey begins. Month 1, Thailand. Stem cells. 37 injections into and around my spine. The kind of pain that makes you understand why torture works. I came back with nothing to show for it. No toe twitch. No phantom sensation. Just receipts and bruises. Month 3, Germany. Epidural stimulator surgery. They implanted electrodes along my spinal cord that could send electrical signals bypassing the injury. It felt like someone had installed jumper cables in my back. The first time they turned it on, my right big toe flickered. Half an inch. I sobbed like a kid. My dad did too. The nurses pretended they had dust in their eyes. The internet ate it up. Kyle moved his toe. Headlines. Viral clips. But walking isn't toes. Walking is balance, weight-bearing, controlled falls. Toe flickers are hope, not a guarantee. The days blurred into a montage of pain. Sterile rooms, sweating under harnesses, collapsing into wheelchairs, training my upper body until it burned, then training my lower body with machines doing most of the work. Month 8, I could wiggle both toes and flex my ankles with the stimulator turned up. Without it, my legs were still dead weight. The crisis. Month 10, I tried an experimental therapy in Mexico combining electrical nerve stimulation and some nerve growth drug. My body hated it. I ended up in an ER, face swollen, heart racing. Came close to dying chasing the chance to stand. By month 12, depression hit like a truck. Everyone online had an opinion. People said I was wasting the donations. Others said I was inspiring them. Some said I needed to accept life in a chair and move on. The bet clock kept ticking. Month 15, I almost quit. I went 3 weeks without therapy. Ignored my trainer's calls. Lay in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about what it would be like to fail in front of millions. And then something happened that changed everything.